Hey folks, good morning. It's Steve and Ned. We're out of here at Tia Maria. It's Friday and the sun is out and the weather looks good. Another good build day. Let's go check on our progress down the road and see how our build's going. Well folks, you can see what's going on here at Tia Maria. You can see the crew. Got a small crew working here right now, but they're steady, making progress steadily. You can see all the concrete hollow blocks that they're putting in place, and the build continues. So right now we're having a big discussion. And let me take you over there and show you what we're talking about. Right here in the center section, which is right there, this is where our TV is going to go. And originally I had sliders here and sliders over there. So we've opted out of the sliders and we're replacing them with individual windows. But we don't have enough room for the TV in the center section of the wall here, so we need to get at least 70 inches, preferably 75 would be nicer. So we talked to our builder this morning, and it's one of the nice things about having stuff done on his build is as long as you catch it, moving's not a problem. There's no price change on fixes that go inside, because this happens a lot on these individual builds. When you see something that you're not really happy with, or you think something will be a lot better off if you move it. So we're actually having the windows push more toward the column bases, and that'll keep the same size of the windows, but it'll increase the center space for the walls. And it's just a matter of cutting these, taking those two hollow blocks out and adding to the center section over there. I think it'll give it a more symmetrical look to it anyway. So going up, you can see all the concrete blocks that they're putting. They're continuing to go up. The sections that don't have the center tie beams for the walls will have doors in it, obviously, or windows. But they're still laying on the far section. You can still lay, as you can see, where they're putting the tie beam down in the pours. They're actually making the forms right now to be able to lace those tie beams in. That'll be a small office area with a CR or comfort room right here. And this is our main living quarters that I talked about earlier. So we've got that in here. And I wanted to take a minute and explain to you guys why some of the build is not going as fast as we wanted to. One of the main reasons is it's the amount of crew that's on site. This is a pretty good sized build, so it's taken a lot of time. So go ahead, Kuya, it's fine. So it's taken more time, and right now there's only 2 or 3 masons that are working on it, because they've shifted some of the workflow into our neighbor's house across the street. And the reason for that being is that why we can't get more people is because it seems like the Lipa area, at least over here toward our build, that it's hard finding actual folks to do the construction, or finding qualified masonry guys to come over here that actually live locally. Now, it's no problem getting from the outside, but the problem with that is the HOA here, and for good reason, is concerned about security down here. So they limit our build right now to 8 people. It's in the deeds of restriction for 3 per build. So that would be 6 normally, but they've allowed 2 more. And the reason for that is I found out that there was, prior to me moving in, I didn't hear anything at all about this, but I found out that they actually had prior break-ins, they actually had a home invasion, and they actually had 1 shooting, which I was very, very disheartened to hear. I mean, that bummed me out when I heard that. You know, that would have been a big decision. I wish I would have known this prior to coming to Tia Maria. It would have had an impact on whether or not I would have decided to go ahead and purchase the lot and build on it. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but it would have had a big impact. It's something I think they need to make public to people that are going to buy here. And again, I heard this secondhand from one of my neighbors who heard it from a good source. There's no way for me to validate it. Nobody wants to talk about it. I guess I could go down to the local barangay and ask him, but the point of it is, it's for me, it's a little bit past that that point right now. You can see with all the bill going down. And another reason is that we have crew that comes out. We have specialized when they piece stuff out, like to have the truss done, the roofing. When we have all those different, the masonry guys, and you have different crews that are sourced out to do different jobs. The crews come in, they work for 2 or 3 weeks, they finish that section of their contracted workout, and then they move on. So what that does is it leaves a gap, and the HOA requires, right now they're requiring 2 days notice to get folks in here. And that's the problem with that is you lose about 3 days because you lose the original 2 days notice they need, plus a day ahead of time, because you have to get barangay clearances here. It's not like in the States where you get guys show up that, you know, that the foreman puts them on site, or they make connections or contacts with whoever employs them and they show up. Out here, it's you have to get clearances. You have to have your clearances to show to security, and these have to be barangay clearances that are done at the local precinct here. So that's another one of the things that they require, and then they make you put it on a list, and that's submitted to the HOA folks here, who are, well, not all of them are residents. Only there's a part of them are residents, and part of them are developers, which is kind of skews the actual vote or the direction on how that should go. But that's part of the reason that's hampering the build here for our contractor to be able to put on more folks, because we're limited to 8 people. And I do get the reasons why, and I wish they would have told us about that ahead of time, so, you know, we could have had a better understanding of the reasons why we weren't allowed more folks, especially when the COVID hit, because they feel it's a security to some of the residents that live here. With all the contractors on site, with the people around here, I can't say that I feel that way, but obviously I don't live here at the moment, so I can't make that call. But that's one of the reasons why the build doesn't have the amount of people that need to go into this site, or the amount of people they want to put into it to advance the build as much as possible. So we lose, every time a crew comes in and out, we lose about 3 days. We've actually submitted a request to them, hoping that will change. I don't know, I haven't heard the answer from it. We spoke with the front office people and on that, so we're hoping to get an answer back on that soon. That was Ainsley and I spoke with them, and they're going to submit that to the HOA folks for approval or denial, because there's really no reason. They don't do a background check on them when they come in. They don't call up and say, hey, here's a background. They basically just submit their barangay, and it goes onto a list, and security checks it off, and that's pretty much it. End of conversation as far as the crew goes. So I don't understand why the build has taken, why they need that two-day delay. I'm hoping we can get a solid answer on that. But it is what it is. We just have to make the best out of we can. The biggest news out of that was hearing about the home invasions and the shooting and the break-ins. They actually had to extend part of the response to that was on that wall back there. You can see where they've actually increased the height on it. The height on this back wall here has been increased to, from what I'm told, is 9 foot, and you can see the extra plastering and the barbed wire that's been put in. But I can still see spots in the far back where people have gone over the barbed wire using those trees to get across the lots. So I think I'm going to have to up my security game quite a bit. I'm disappointed, really disappointed to hear that, because I'm committed to living here and making Tia Maria our home and a good place to live. But this is all part of living. I'm not saying that they don't have crime in the U.S., because they do, and all the folks that I've dealt with and lived at and around in the Philippines have been awesome. But no matter where you go, you have that criminal element. Whether it's in the States or the Philippines, unfortunately, you've got bad people everywhere you go.